I paid $30,000 for my sister's dream wedding, then found out I wasn't invited. Imagine spending nearly all your savings to make someone's dream come true, only to discover they never wanted you there in the first place. Before we get into this unbelievable story, hit that subscribe button. My younger sister, Emma, had always dreamed of a perfect wedding. The problem? She couldn't afford it. A year before the ceremony, she called me crying. Her fiancé had lost his job, vendors were demanding deposits, and they were considering canceling everything. I felt terrible. Growing up, our family struggled financially. I had worked hard, built a successful business, and finally had some money saved. So I offered to help. At first, it was just a few $1,000s. Then came the dress, the venue, the catering, the photographer. Every time a new expense appeared, I covered it. By the time wedding season arrived, I had spent over $30,000. Emma constantly thanked me. She called me her hero. She even told everyone I was the reason her wedding was happening. I felt proud. For once, I thought my sacrifices had truly brought our family closer together. Then, 3 weeks before the wedding, invitations started arriving. Friends posted pictures online. Cousins texted me about travel plans. But my invitation never came. I assumed it had gotten lost in the mail. No big deal. So I called Emma. She sounded nervous, really nervous. Finally, she said something that made my stomach drop. There wasn't enough room for everyone. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. I had paid for the wedding. Yet somehow there was no room for me. Then she admitted the truth. Her future mother-in-law thought I was embarrassing. Apparently, because I was single, worked long hours, and wasn't considered classy enough, they didn't want me in the wedding photos. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The woman whose wedding I funded had chosen appearances over family. And worse? She agreed with them. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every sacrifice I'd made, every dollar, every favor, every time I'd put her happiness before my own. Then I made a decision. The next morning, I contacted every vendor I had personally paid. Since the contracts were under my name and my cards had been used for payment, I legally canceled every service I was responsible for. The venue, the catering, the photographer, everything. A week later, my phone exploded with calls. Emma was screaming. My parents were furious the wedding had completely fallen apart. But here's the twist. A month later, I learned something shocking. Emma's fiancé found out why I wasn't invited. He was disgusted. He realized how selfish Emma and her family had become. And he called off the engagement himself. The wedding never happened. Years later, he reached out to thank me. He said canceling those contracts saved him from marrying someone he didn't truly know. As for Emma, she spent years blaming me, until eventually she admitted something she'd never said before. She knew what they were doing was wrong. She just thought I'd never stand up for myself. Turns out she was wrong. And that's the story of how I paid for my sister's dream wedding and accidentally exposed the nightmare hiding behind it. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe now for more unbelievable stories, shocking betrayals, and unexpected endings. You won't want to miss the next one.